Hey, this is Omar, and just on here real quick, recapping Thursday night football game between the Ravens and Tampa Bay. So it was a good game. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much commanded by Baltimore. For most of the game. With a 27-22 victory over Tampa Bay. The star right there is on the scene, L-Jack, and he was doing his thing, just in command of the game, and making certain plays, especially like he threw a lot of balls in the dirt, and like everybody know with L-Jack, his accuracy come and go, but as far as tonight, he was solid in prime time and on the road, had and versus a solid defense, Tampa Bay defense. He was 27 completion, 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 104 passer rating, as well as he chimed in with 9 carries for 43 yards. So just a solid ass game from L. Jack. Running the ball, which is surprising because Tampa Bay usually was known for the past couple of years, especially since Brady went down to Tampa Bay. They was known for a solid rush defense, but Baltimore was able to get 231 yards total as a team. Gus Edwards, he chimed in with 11 for 65. Drake had 7 for 62. That 40-yarder, was the longest one he had. I said L-Jack already. And Doomerville, he had 2 carries for 33. And that 18-yarder where he scored that touchdown. So, yeah, I think he scored the touchdown. Yeah. So, it was, and Justice Hill, he came in with 4 for 28. So overall, as a team, they had 7 yards of carry, which is definitely the sweet spot that Baltimore be trying to go for. You saw Andrews went down early, but he was looking like he was gonna have a solid game with 3 for 33. But then likely, the rookie dude, he came in, what I'm saying? They gave him his opportunities, and on 7 targets, he caught 6 for 77 and a touchdown. Robinson surprisingly was the leading receiver over Doomerville and Bateman. Robinson had on 8 targets, he caught 6 for 64. And Doomville, he had 4 targets, 4 for 31. So, what I'm saying? Just they had the command of the game. And if you look at hold on. Let me see if they got that right there. Time possessions, they had the ball for 38 minutes compared to Tampa Bay, who only had it for 21. Third down conversions, they was 6 of 13 compared to Tampa Bay, where they was 4 of 13. So, as you continue running down defensively, they got 3 sacks and no interceptions. But they was pretty solid, you know what I'm saying? They was making Tampa Bay work for everything. They gave up a few big plays, but even when they got the big plays, Tampa Bay didn't really capitalize on them, as far as like in the red zone. So, much respect to Baltimore. They had a few games where, they gave the game away against Buffalo. They gave the game away against the Giants. So they've been having a few games where they was in the lead and commanding, like in command of the game. And, what I'm saying, for some reason they got like a little lax in the fourth quarter, and the other team, kept playing and played the whole 60 minutes and got a win on them. So, you got to give kudos to Baltimore. And then, their schedule gets real sweet, so they could find themselves going on a slight winning streak, in these next few games. Now Tampa Bay, they losing again. Brady, first time he been 2 games under 500 in like a long time, and we ain't used to seeing Brady like that. Uh, you know, today he ain't really have a awful game. He was 26 of 44, 325, a touchdown. Granted, some of them yards did come late, but he had a solid game, and I think he needed this type of game maybe to get his rhythm going as far as like moving forward. Their running attack is still non-existent. Larry Leonard Fournette, he had 9 carries for 24 yards and a touchdown. But overall, as a team, they had 15 carries for 44 yards. That's not really going to be the recipe for them to get any type of, balance. And as far as receiving the ball, Mike Evans, he had a solid game. But, aside from that 51-yard catch that he had in the second half, you know what I'm saying? He had what, 5 for 70 some odd yards. And he caught that over 11 targets. So I mean, he did good as far as fantasy wise. But sometimes some weeks you be thinking like Mike Evans got the potential to do way more than what he be doing from a week to week basis. Chris Godwin, he had 11 targets, and he caught 6 for 75. So it seems like he's only comfortable throwing it to them two. You know what I'm saying? Like, the tight end, he looked like he might have potential, but he don't really they don't really schematically call plays for him from week to week. Julio Jones made an appearance after a few weeks of being on the show. He had 4 targets and caught 2 for 21. And Leonard Fournette, he had 3 targets and caught 3 for 34. So, for Brady, this was a good game just because he looked like he had some rhythm in the game and whatnot. One of the things that kind of messed him up was, the fact that they had that fumble early in the first half, and they gave Baltimore that sweet field position or whatever. But Tampa Bay ain't really, they ain't really got turnovers. They didn't really, they got a few sacks or whatever. Vega got a sack. Bird got a sack. And Trayon, he got a sack with, another sack. So they had 3 as far as the team QB hits. They had 3. But what's going to be key for them is, how they going to replace Bird. If he's out for the rest of the year, who they going to be able to get. Do you make a trade for somebody to, help out on defense, or do you just ride with who you got? Luckily for them, they in a division where it's kind of sweet. The only wild card out of all the teams in there is Atlanta. Atlanta's a wild card because they got certain pieces, and like if Tampa Bay didn't get their gift call on Tom Brady as far as that roughing the passer early in the year, quite frank, it's possible that Atlanta would have won that game and probably be over them, but we're assuming that Tampa Bay gonna figure it out. They're gonna get their shit going, and probably is gonna be after that break. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how they've been throughout the time Brady been down there. Like that, he got to get to the bye week, and then the bye week they start implementing a certain offense that works for the personnel groupings that they have to make take advantage of the defenses that they play going forward. Like granted, Atlanta ain't sweet like how they were last year. Carolina, is gonna play them tough because you know they playing hard for Steve Wilkes. So you know what I'm saying. So they not gonna just have them teams lay down or whatever. And then New Orleans played them tough. So they gonna really have to get it going. You know what I'm saying? Like they 2 games back. So, you know, we'll see. You know, maybe projection wise, you know what, they done lost 5 already. They might end up being like how the the broadcaster said, I think it was Al Michaels, where they might get into the playoffs with like a 9-8 or a 10-7, record. And, just play from the wild card and just see what happens. But you flip back to Baltimore, good game. They was able to hold the lead and they kept, being aggressive and stuff. I know people was talking shit, John Harbaugh, for all them fourth downs that he went for against Miami and against Buffalo. But you see he's being aggressive and he believing in his team, and that's good, and that's gonna be good going forward. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta just get their players healthy. You know what I'm saying? You can, Mark Andrews, it looked like he gonna have a sidekick this year. Likely looks like he's solid. He got some good size and he gonna be able to make some plays out there. And if they do a 2 tight end set. And then we just gotta see how Bateman continue to blossom. Dumerville's been a huge surprise. I didn't think he was gonna be showing out the way he's done thus far. And so, you mix in Robinson, who's a speedster, who can kind of stretch the deep, stretch the field for them. So Baltimore's definitely got a complex offense, and it's just gonna be interesting to see how they can build off this. If they can string along a couple of wins, how they can become an AFC threat. So yeah, that's my quick thoughts on that. All right, thanks for listening.